Are you a lifelong fan of General Hospital?
Are you a new fan who wants to know more about the history of the show?
Do you enjoy talking about the show with others?
Do you find yourself yelling at the TV?
Is your self-care an hour a day in Port Charles?
If so, we invite you to join hosts
Amanda Kimmel
and Shannon Coach at the place where all the hidden conversations take place and secrets are revealed.
Meet us at Pier 54,
a General Hospital fan podcast. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the General Hospital recap for July 6th through 10th, 2026. Okay, I feel like this is like the best summer that we've had in a long time.
All week, I was just like, Shannon's happy, Shannon's happy, Shannon's happy.
I really don't think it's just because of that. Like, I really feel like what they've been doing the past 2 weeks has just like 2 to 3 weeks.
I think that
some stuff is still dragging out.
Some stuff is, but I was going to say, I think that that's why we're happy is that they're finally finishing some stuff. Like, I won't get into it, but even last week we were like, so is Cassius really dead? And we got our answer this week instead of waiting 6 months from now.
We knew
and then
the answer
like,
to that.
Oh, I know, but sometimes they don't like to tell us that.
Yeah.
So
we do have quite a few Port Charles pipelines.
Oh, see, people missed us after
not
talking to us last week.
Real quick. So we did put out there. So if you wrote in about the pizza, Pinot, pajama, Port Charles night, we did email everyone, but we do have two options. It's either going to be Saturday, July 25th or Saturday, August 1st. Thinking starting around like 8 p.m. Eastern time, one person wrote in, either date works, would prefer 8 p.m. And then another person wrote, the 25th works best and anytime. So,
okay.
If you have not yet written in and the 25th at 8 p.m. sounds like a good time to you, let us know.
There we go.
Right now, we still don't have an actual date, but those are the two that we've thrown out there. And if you had written into us about it and not responded, because a couple people haven't, get it, it's a holiday week, whatever, check your spam.
Yeah.
Because it might be in there. And it literally just says like quick poll, pizza, Pinot, pajama, Port Charles. So.
And any other P word you can think of to put in there.
Pretty much. So we have from Tammy. Oh, she wrote this last night. Hello, I am excited that I'm remembering this, that it is Friday night before 10 p.m. You also lucked out. Oh, no. I'm sorry. She wrote it in the morning. Okay.
Nice.
So I was gonna say, so we are recording on Saturday morning because life.
Mm-hmm.
So last week, not so much. I was bummed when I realized I missed the pipeline deadline for the week and had failed to send the message into you. I was also bummed when I realized I put the wrong person in my silly Valentin pick for you. So I fixed it and added a bonus for you.
Oh. Oh no.
Oh my god, this is the best! Oh my god, hold it!
Shannon can't share because she can't stop laughing.
Oh my god, this is the best! This is the best! Hold on. I need my husband down here. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Hold on.
Oh my god, that is great. Oh my god.
So it says this week on Joe. Oh my god.
That is hysterical.
And she put me in purple.
Yes.
And I'm not in purple on our logo. Oh, absolutely love this.
Oh my god.
It's phase 1 saying, "You're coming with me, Shannon, and no one will find you." And then it has me and Sal saying, "Please, someone has to find me." Then it has Valentin saying, "Let her go, phase 1." Or, "What, Valentin? You'll never find her." And then phase 1 is getting beat up. Oh, they're struggling. And then JD, Valentin, knocks him to the ground, says he should have stayed away from her, and then puts the key in the lock, and it says, "This ends now." I say, "I knew you would have come for me." And then he holds me and says, "Always." Oh my god, Tammy. Listen, I love all of our fans.
That needs printed out. That needs like on your wall.
So quickly jumped to the I can't. This is amazing. I absolutely love
God.
Oh, hey! And we're actually recording on the day that's Valentin's 10-year anniversary.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Perfect. Oh my
Perfect.
gosh.
That
I
is
need
adorable.
to go to my phone and
It's gonna be like your Christmas
and
card.
then this is the picture that she fixed.
Huh?
I I now need a cartoon.
You do. You do.
Why can't I? What's going on with my phone?
Oh,
All
you
right,
need
I
to
need a
send that.
minute.
You need to send that to him and be like, one of our fans made this, and then
He's
he'll
gonna
call
be
you
like,
to
I will never
discuss it.
talk to you. You're a stalker. Oh,
No, because you don't have to say that you did it. You get to say a fan did it, and
that
then
is true. That is true.
you're not the stalker. She is for you, so it doesn't count.
I'm texting this to JD, mate.
Don't put it in your family chat. Your kids are gonna be like,
No.
"What?" Oh my gosh,
Man,
that's
that
so
is
funny.
good. All right, guys, that's the show. Sorry, we're
Right.
done. Great. So, Heather,
Shanna's distracted now. We're not ever getting back on track. Oh,
I'm waiting for
man.
JD to come downstairs. He's outside right now. And then we actually had a couple people submit through our website, which works too. So if you don't want to email us at hello@pure54podcast.com, you can also go to the website. So I was scrolling through Facebook and found this reel from Andrew Hawks. It made me giggle after you ladies talked about similar today on the podcast. He will be missed, but hey, he has the support of his family. Have you seen this?
Mm-mm.
Love the new video podcast. I start my Mondays listening and watching you both.
Oh, thanks.
Thanks. All right, so I'm gonna load this real quick because I think I know what she's. Yeah, hold on. Is it gonna go? Yep. Hold on. So I will share this. Share screen. Where are you? There you are. Share tab audio. Okay, so you should be able to listen to this too.
Okay.
All right, I'm really digging this video part. All right, here we go. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Kill yourself. I would not hurt my sister, but you did. I anticipated that you would try to steal the medicine for her. So I switched the saline for a type of poison. Take comfort in the fact that she's probably dead by now. Kill yourself.
Oh my
His,
gosh.
his son is like, in your face. That's awesome.
Great.
And that's from Angela. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
They do need to find a new character for him to come back as.
They
'cause he was
do. They
great.
really, really do. And then from Sherry, hey, ladies, I didn't get to watch the show throughout the week due to the family being in town. Yeah, I think it really was the holiday that threw everyone off.
Mm-hmm.
So I caught up on Saturday and Sunday. That was a good week. I was right about Ethan not being Phoebe's dad and can't wait to find out who it is. And I was also right about Valentin getting a pardon, but wrong on who would do it. Sorry, I want Laura and it was Joss. I was listening to your show and I don't know if you guys didn't catch it, but after Joss asked for the pardons, when it came back to them, they were shaking hands and Z asked if anyone would go against her statement. She said Sidwell might, but who would believe him in that you guys might get some pushback from his sister and mom. And then Z said he will send someone in to give her a brief statement telling her truth on record. So he must have took the deal. Can't wait for a more exciting episode in July. See you at the pier. Yeah, I think that we thought that they agreed to it.
Yeah, I assumed.
We might not, yeah.
Sometimes we
There was a couple things.
specify.
Because also, what did I text you earlier this week? Because I was listening to the show and I'm like, I never finished that thought. Hold on.
There was the thing about the saline and who was going to know about Britt. And I was like, oh, I said that I hoped that Lucas was paying attention. But yeah, I never took it any further because we started talking about something else.
I had said that I had a reason why I thought that Faison was alive. And the reason that I thought that he is alive is because I think that they kept Cassius alive to draw out Faison. Because he'll have access to him. So that's why I think that they thought, or that's why I think that Faison might be alive. And that's part of why I think that they may have kept Cassius alive.
Got it. I'm still saying you're wrong, but
I'm still stuck on my
right?
comic.
Need some more cold water. Jeez.
Hello, and this is from Karis. Hello, my peer people, lovelies. I think I can explain the shootout area. Rich people stuff.
Oh, that could be where I'm lacking. I'm on my own island.
The help unloads in the back where the generators that Joss blew up were located. See, I thought that those were on the mainland. I thought the generator that she was on the main, because she was looking across the
Right. But it would make
harbor.
sense that they should be attached to the building.
I don't think I thought she went to like the Port Charles electric grid because she was looking across the harbor, and that's when
I'm
they
with
changed
you.
the look of Windermere.
Right.
But that's when Sidwell decided to get generators, right? Because he was like,
Yes.
I can't. Okay.
Yes.
Joss blew up were located. Guests, etc., are ferried to the front of the island, and the industrial docks are in the back or to the side. We're not sure because I haven't seen a Spoon Island 411. We did one. We did Windermere, like we did, but they've changed it. Here, let me find the exact episode for you. We do have that spreadsheet, but I still always use this. I don't use it.
You have noticed.
I just always go to our website and go to the podcast section and type in what we're talking about. Spoon Island was on March 23rd, 2023. And before that, we had done Windermere right before it. And this one is to complete the story of Windermere Castle. We have to talk about the land it's founded on. In 1882, Washington Wyndham purchased the island known as Spoon Island from the city of Port Charles. We hear from Lucy's book, The Travel Guide to Port Charles, all the secrets and folklore that haunt this island. And it is 21 minutes long and 51 seconds. What do you think? Loving being able to see your excitement as always and keep up the excellent work. Catch you at the pier.
I love our fans.
I'm not sure how much people are going to be like, why does Shannon keep like losing her mind over this stuff?
No, because your reaction is perfect. And I think it does help them understand, like we've talked about before, whenever I tease you, like now you guys see the expression that I was getting whenever she's crying over something or she's dying laughing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're killing me. That's why.
All right. So again, from Sherry, this makes sense. Our sore ass friend, listening to your Thursday 411 on Valentin, you talked about how in 2009, Helena was afraid of Valentin, but then later on when Charlotte came, it was said that she was born in 2009. So they could have tied that in when Charlotte came. She was afraid of him because Valentin was mad about being drugged and having his sperm used to make a baby, but they would still have to explain how they got teen Lulu's egg. Yep. That's true. They could have done that. But they did not.
I'm sure they didn't want to address the fact that, why are we?
It would have been a teenager. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good catch.
Don't harvest eggs from teenagers.
And I don't think we were actually even paying attention to Lulu's or Charlotte's actual age, which makes sense because we know how old she is now.
Right.
That it would have, Interesting. All right. That's all that I have for the pipeline. Do you have anything that you saw?
I do not.
Speaking of Valentin, part 2 is coming out this Thursday. And that is what? October 2018 to October 2021, I think it was.
I think so.
Okay. Hulu headlines. On Monday, Carly clashes with Z and Jocelyn gets a surprise. On Tuesday, Carly is on the warpath and Danny makes a revelation. Wednesday, Sunny cautions Carly. I loved that whole scene. That was so fun. And Trina runs into Portia. On Thursday, Liz is suspicious and Willow suffers a setback. And then Friday, old lovers reunite. No, they didn't. I mean,
No, they didn't.
But they didn't.
I hope not.
No. That was her Robert smile. And that was his smile before Nina became the ex that he hated.
Right.
That's their friends towards each other. They still love each other, but that was not a romantic smile on behalf of either one of them. That was, as soon as she smiled back, like he smiled in a way like, I'm really glad, like, hey, I'm here. But it wasn't, I'm longing for you.
No, it was
And the
not,
way
I'm
that
glad
she
to see
smiled
you.
at
Yep.
him was that was her Robert smile. Lulu demands answers. We're just sick of her.
Yep.
And what? Who said that? And Chase is aghast. Where do you want to start?
I'm letting you take this. It's all you.
I guess we just have to start with Z and Carly because that's kind of where last week ended and where this week picked up, where Z's like, I have never had an agent's mommy ask for me to remove them from duty. And she tells him that, listen, she volunteered or like, is okay with all this, but Brennan manipulated her. And he's like,
Mhm.
yeah, but she still did all this stuff, and from what I hear, she's pretty good.
Right.
And
He called
she
her a
did complain about
weapon.
the, yeah,
Y-
yeah. And he did say that he would allow her to be able to go see Joss. So he totally understood that, he's going to get her on the list. But then what? He said something and she slapped him. And I'm like, John Oliver got the full soap opera experience. He got to be the
He
bad
did.
guy. He got to be the good guy and he got to get slapped.
Yep.
Like he got it all. Oh, I guess he's really not a bad guy, but I mean, he kind of, you know, but then he actually asks her to dinner, like starts
Mhm.
hitting on her. It's like, oh yeah, if we leave now, we could go have some drinks by the Seine. And what he recommended was the Cur Royale, which we should be having right now. It is a black currant liqueur and champagne.
Oh, yummy.
I like that. I'm happy for him as a guest star to have had that whole thing. I hope that he comes back. I hope that this is a stepping stone. I don't think he's going to become a regular, but kind of like Brick, So
Right, exactly. The fact that he is a main person of the WSB, but
he's the
not someone that
head of the WSB.
right, but we don't
He's the
normally
secret
see
head of
that
the WSB.
person.
Right.
Like, it's not like they, up until a few years ago, they didn't even have an office for Charles. But
Right.
definitely, he's not someone that's around all the time. So, yeah, he could pop in every once a year, just check out the agents, make sure everything's running smoothly. It would be great.
Yep. But then we did see him go visit Cassius.
Yep. And he made him a job offer. He was like,
Yep.
so you can take the fall for all of these bad things that I got Jocelyn to say that you did, or you can come work for me.
Yep. And so that's why now I feel more supported.
I do
Because
want to know.
what does he have? He really has literally nothing else to gain from him. Except, I mean, yeah, he could take down Sidwell, I guess. But is that really top on the WSB's priority?
I don't know. I mean, Sidwell's a pretty bad dude, so maybe. I'm not
still
sure.
holding out that Sidwell's related to Faison also.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Those two things are going to come true.
Faison's not alive, but you can connect
He
them,
is.
sure.
But
He's
he
not,
is.
but you
He
can
is.
connect them, and I will take that they are brothers, cousins, something, but Faison's not still
I
alive.
want brothers.
So
I want
okay.
brothers.
You can have that. I have no objections to how they're related. Just no, Faison's not still alive. I do want to know, though, with Jocelyn, there's all this fight all week about her being an agent. Carly doesn't want her to be an agent. She wants to be an agent still, whatever, blah, blah, blah. They have now told every person in Port Charles that she's an agent. How is she still an agent? Like, we did not know that Anna was a WSB agent back in the day, except for like her closest friends and family. We're like, oh,
I
okay,
thought we
she's a
did.
spy. I don't feel like the whole town knew that.
No one knew that she was a double agent.
No one knew she was a double agent, but I don't think that anyone knew that she was an agent even in the beginning. Because how are you, especially nowadays, back then,
But everyone knew
information
that
wasn't
Valentin
as
was.
easy. During that time?
Yeah.
Who's everyone?
Like everyone knew that Valentin was in the WSB. That's how they knew about Anna's connection to him.
But again, that was like after they had done stuff. Like whenever Anna and him were first involved and he was lusting after Anna and they were going through the academy and all that stuff, it wasn't reported to everyone like, hey, mom, I'm going to go be a WSB agent. So now that everyone
But I
knows
feel like
that
everyone
Joss
knew like
is an
Robert
agent,
and Sean and like all that. Like everyone knew what they did. And everyone knew Brennan.
I feel like it was still a big secret. I mean,
And
Sean's room
Frisco.
was hidden behind a wall.
When Frisco joined the WSB, it was from day one, everyone knew where Frisco went.
I
I
still
don't think
know
the
that everyone
WSB
was
is like
supposed to know.
as. That's a good question. Is it just because we knew?
Yeah, I always
don't
thought
know.
it was top secret. The only reason we knew was because like their closest connections knew and they were going off on assignment. I didn't feel like the whole town knew. And especially now with all of the information that is so easy, if I type in Jocelyn Jacks, it's going to come up WSB agent. So if she comes to find me in Brazil, I'm going to be like, who's this blonde chick? I'm going to type it in and I'm going to be like, that's a WSB agent. I
Well,
shouldn't tell
see,
her
but
my
that's the
life
problem with
story.
technology now. That's the problem with technology now, is
Right.
that he could just take I'm just assuming they could just take a picture of Joss, upload it like in a reverse image search, and it would
Right.
show her high school picture,
Mm-hmm.
whereas back in the 80s, they
No,
couldn't
you
really
couldn't
do
have
that.
access to that. Right.
So it's a really interesting question because I feel like most people have known when someone's in the WSB. But
See,
is it
I
just
feel like,
because we knew, or was it because everyone knew?
yeah, no, I don't think everyone knew.
Interesting. I did like Lucas going to talk to Joss,
Yes. That was great.
and he's not mad at her for not telling him about the WSB, but then she tells him that her orders were to manipulate him,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why she sided with him about moving to Windermere, because she knew that she was going to be able to get access to Marco and to get closer to access to information about Sidwell and his organization. And I loved that he was like, I was really looking forward to getting to know you when I moved back to Port Charles. She's like, you've known me my whole life. He's like, no, no, no. Like as an adult, like as a peer, as a
Right.
friend, and he's like, now I don't know if anything that we ever connected over in the past year is true. And I don't know who's going to be talking to me, my niece or Agent Jax.
Mm-hmm.
And she basically said she would do it again.
Yep. Yep. I do like that he also took responsibility though, whenever she was apologizing for the whole moving to Windermere and whatever. And he was like, look, I was going to do that regardless. You could have told me no. That was my choice to make. I just don't
Yeah.
like the fact that in everyday conversation, I have to wonder, is
Right.
this you or is this agent? Yeah.
Right.
They're so cute. Like he's such a good grown up role model for people. He can admit his flaws and then he can also be there for
We
whoever.
have an actual adult in Port Charles?
Right?
What?
I feel like he really might be the only one.
There's a couple. There's been a couple. Dante. He's had his moments over the past couple weeks, but especially like this week when he was talking with Rocco and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he does a really good job of being stuck in the middle of everything, trying to discern how to, okay, am I dad here? Am I commissioner? I loved that whenever he got together for lunch with Laura and, they're ex-in-laws, but now
Right.
they're, he's the acting commissioner and she's the mayor. And so they got together and had lunch and he's like, oh, good. So you're firing me? And she's like, well, not really, but yeah, Anna's back in town.
Mm-hmm.
And where was that? That was at the Metro Court pool too. And that's the thing that confuses me. Like, why wouldn't that have been a conversation where she invited him to her office to
Right.
talk?
Right.
Because I'm sure that most people aren't supposed to necessarily know that
Right?
Anna's
Mhm.
back, for her safety.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought that didn't happen at the pool. That happened at the regular restaurant, like the outside patio.
Yes, in the
whatever.
garden. Yes, in the gardens.
Yes.
Yes.
But I thought
I
the
knew it was
same thing. That's
outside. Yeah.
very open to be having that conversation. And the same thing later in the week, whenever Ethan was talking to Ava, they were just like by the pool. And I was like,
Mhm.
what are you guys doing? This is a
Yep.
very personal conversation. Please go somewhere where there are not other people around.
And where she told him about, oh, no. She told Martin because, maybe that's why. Maybe it was just she was having like rotating lunches because she was saying to Dante that she still has no idea what happened on Spoon Island. He's like, yeah, no one does.
Right.
Because the only person who survived is Joss. And so everything is going to be up against her because, again, we don't have cameras.
Yep. Yep.
But then Martin shows up He's back from Reno. She tells him, yeah, by the way, that was because of Sidwell. And the reason why you got that is because he wanted you away from me because he's been blackmailing me. And he's like, oh, great.
Mm-hmm.
So Kevin can come home. And she's like, yeah, so here's the thing. The summer semester's already started in Dublin, so he's not going to. But Laura tells him to keep quiet because no one knows,
Right.
as we have this conversation in the middle of public.
Mm-hmm.
I did like, though, when Dante immediately goes to Anna's apartment. I know we just jumped over so much. So Anna, but
Right.
it took like that much time. Yeah. And she's alone and all you hear is bang, bang, bang. Police, open up.
Yep.
And she's like, oh, Dante.
Right. It was very cute.
That was cute. Yeah. We have to way, way, way back up, but that was.
There's the highlights.
Where do you want to back up to?
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think, like it did do a good job this week of just like kind of moving everything along, but there was still some one-offs that I'm not sure. Oh, we saw Rock or Danny go to Brennan and be like, hey,
Yeah.
I have information. So that was hard, like watching the
Hold
kids
it.
fight over it. Uh-oh.
But no. Danny goes to see Brennan. So before that, though, Nina had been there
Mm-hmm.
and he was trying to get out of bed. Brennan was trying to get out of bed. And she's talking about how I got you moved to this new room under an alien. It's the same room. They moved the bed.
Mm-hmm.
Because did you see the sign outside his door? Unless every single door has that sign right outside of it. They literally just moved the bed. I mean, obviously, I knew that they weren't going to give him a completely newly updated room.
I thought it looked like Drew's room, the room that they keep Drew in at.
It could have been. But
whatever.
It's the same room,
So,
just because
yeah.
of that sign that.
Right.
Yeah. Although I am convinced now that the writers or the prop or whatever are just like teasing me at this point because they had Anna's fridge completely open and I was like, what's in there?
We're going to just flash Shannon this information, but do it too fast
Like,
for her to
how
see.
nerdy is she?
She has to pause. Oh, she uses Grey Poupon versus regular mustard.
She might. She might. But yeah, but then Danny goes to see him.
Okay, well, the whole alias thing also annoyed me because Nina says, I had you moved and I put you under a whole new name so that the WSB can't find you, right? And then she's standing there. This is before Danny comes to visit. She's standing there talking to him, telling him all about how she saved his life, so she's responsible, whatever.
Yep.
And then Vaughn comes in and he's like, oh, you changed room using one of your aliases. You weren't hiding from the WSB if you used an alias that the WSB knows.
Right. Especially, Cullum would know that.
Right?
Uh-huh.
So I'm like,
yeah,
okay, did Nina not think this through or he didn't think it through? But either way, the WSB is going to search all of your names in the database and they're going to see that you moved across the hallway or whatever we're pretending that you did. He says that he it saved him a trip because he was looking for her to let her know that Cassius had died. And that was the first time. I hadn't thought about the family not knowing that when we were discussing it last week.
It was Nina. That's the thing. He said Nathan passed away. But when did Nina learn about Cassius?
Oh, I just assumed that Liesel had told her, but I don't know that we did see that.
Because then
You're right.
she went and told. She had to be the one to go tell Aunt Liesel that Cassius has passed away because she said Cassius passed away. But then I'm like, but when did you find out about Cassius? Because Vaughn said Nathan passed away.
Yeah.
Which was like, and I mean, I guess we're to assume that he then filled her in on everything because she's like, yeah, I know. Because then we see her later talking to Willow about, I feel like I lost Jay all over again because this whole thing. But like, we never saw her learn about, unless you and I are both completely forgetting that Nina found out that Cassius was impersonating Nathan.
No.
So that just confused me because it wasn't like, and I feel like that would have been a good, if we're going to try to get Nina and Brennan together, that would have been a really good way to start that softness between the two of them with having Vaughn break it to her who Cassius was.
Please not put them together.
Oh, you really don't think they're going to? I think they are.
I mean, I think that's what they're going to end up with. Do Carly and Nina just need to share every man?
No.
Like, why? Well, we've
I
done
know.
Sunny, we've done Valentin, so now we're gonna
They
do
both
Brennan
talked
too.
about it this week.
Right. So
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so like that's just what I thought. I thought that would be a really nice way to also show a side of Brennan
mhm,
that, yeah, so this stuff happens, because people assume identities, like all that stuff, that he would have at least been able to been there for her with, I had no idea that
right.
Cassius was, like, and be able to do that. But none of that. Mm-mm. It was just
Mm-mm.
Vaughn comes in, tells Nina where to assume,
Right.
and then, yeah, because I even wrote, I said, because, hold on, we got to go back.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Oh, we have to go back to why Danny even got there in the first place, because Danny had been standing outside all of this.
Yep.
Charlotte's telling Lulu that Valentin has been in Port Charles.
Mhm.
They're arguing, and then they overhear the boys outside arguing because Rocco wound up telling Danny that he shot Cullum, but he was trying to save Jason, and that his dad is who came up with, which I mean, Cassius did. Cassius
Right.
did. Jason followed.
Yeah.
But, and he can't break his word to Britt. And I cannot believe that they actually had Rocco say, my dad always shows up for me.
Right?
I can't believe that they actually had him say that, because the way that he said it too,
Mhm.
it was very, that kid doesn't
Mm-mm.
talk like that. But so they're arguing, and then Charlotte and Lulu are arguing over here, the boys, because Charlotte wouldn't tell Lulu where Valentin had been hiding,
Right?
but says that he turned himself into the WSB. And then she mentions that Danny was involved, and Lulu's like, oh, so there's more to this story. You think, journalist
Right.
Lulu?
It
You really think? Okay. And then asks, like, well, is anybody else involved? And so Lulu tells them all, like, we're not telling the WSB anything. If anybody in our family texted us from the hospital saying, hey, I'm in the hospital, would you run to the hospital from a text message?
no, I feel like there needs to be a phone call to figure
It
out
has to be a
exactly
phone
what's
call. It
up.
has to be I need you to come here. I'm in the, not a, if you text me that you're in the hospital, I'm going to be like, you okay? Not a,
Right.
shoot, I need to get to you. A text is
Right.
not an emergency, especially when you are talking to your daughter and yelling at her about all the
Mhm.
danger that she's in. You're just going to leave these 3 kids who, yeah, Column's dead. We all know Colum's dead, but we also don't know how far his reach goes. So you're going to leave
Right?
all 3 of those kids, kids,
Right?
because your brother texted you.
Well, she was taking Charlotte with her. She wasn't leaving all 3.
Yes,
She was taking
yes,
Charlotte with her
yes.
because they needed to talk about this more, but first they needed to check on Ethan, and I love Charlotte being like, "Ethan doesn't even know me. I don't need to go with you." And she's like,
Right,
"Yes, yes, you do."
right.
And I don't know what kind of car that was that Lulu was driving, but I'd also like to know how she
How's
affords
she
that
paying
car
for
because
that?
it
Yeah.
looks pretty darn fancy to me.
Yep. Yep.
When she whipped in, I was like, that does not look like a inexpensive vehicle there.
Yep. But Sonny had been visiting Ethan in the hospital and tells Ava that, he went above and beyond his job duties. And Ava was wondering why they let Sidwell live. And they're all upset that Turner wants to handle things legally.
Mm,
And Ethan's joking about getting hazard pay. And Ava definitely let on that she knows there's something going on between Turner and Sonny. We know for a fact there are cameras in that gallery.
yep,
We didn't talk about that last week. We know for a fact exactly where they were. There are cameras because
yep,
we have seen them. So,
yep. There are, but I still don't understand. Sunny didn't even do a good explanation there. When they started questioning him, he like kind of left it open ended, like, oh, maybe I didn't do anything because there's something going on with me and Turner. He needed to flat out say, Turner was standing there and said, if you kill this man, I will prosecute you to the fullest extent of the
right,
law. So
right,
maybe I have plans to take him out later when she's not standing there, but I couldn't possibly have pulled the trigger in the gallery at that moment.
right.
It was impossible.
There were witnesses.
And
What
then
we
he
in the
was
biz like
hauled
to call
off
witnesses.
by the police. So
Right,
I didn't have Sorry I didn't have like a sniper on backup. I wasn't even expecting to go to the
Jason's out of
gallery.
town.
Right. So he was in police custody. I can't shoot him until he's out of police custody.
Right.
It makes total sense. Like,
Mhm.
regardless of anything of him and Turner, it makes perfect sense of why he couldn't have done anything. And they totally ignored saying that. It was just like, oh, well, something's going on. No,
No.
I didn't want to go to jail. I don't
But
like to commit murder in front of the DA. Like, what?
yep. But then we saw Dante visiting Britt, and this is where he was like a good adult. And he's like, I'm not happy because this whole situation is hurting Rocco. She
Mm-hmm.
begs to be let out, that they'll never hear from him again. He's like, yeah, but that's going to hurt Rocco. So, like, I'm
Right.
not okay with that. He's definitely more of like, okay, we're going to have to figure this out. Lulu has zero idea she is going to lose her kids,
She
even though she has been now repeatedly told this.
she was beyond this week. Like, some weeks I understand. I don't agree with, but I understand her level of ridiculousness. This week, I was just like, what is wrong with you? Your kids are not babies. This is not your first rodeo. You've gone to court before. You should know how this is going to work out.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
But then I didn't like that Dante said that that Britt was trying to use Rocco's love to get out of jail. I'm like, no, see, I don't feel like she was.
Mm-mm.
I feel like it was, and he said that she only loves herself. And I really don't think
I don't
that's
think
true. I
that's
think that
true.
Britt hates herself. I think that Britt
Yeah.
absolutely despises herself, that she is confident in her educational abilities.
Mm-hmm.
But as an overall human, I think that Britt does not like herself at all.
Right. I agree.
So,
I agree. And Lucas made that even worse whenever he did come and see her, which I loved. Well, he finished the conversation with Joss and they had talked.
yes.
And so then he goes to see her at the jail and he's like, hey, listen, I have some news. And she's like, I just don't want to spend my last remaining days in here. I want to go and do what I need to do. I'm so
Yeah.
tired of waiting to die. And he's like, well, maybe it won't be anytime soon. And she's like, thanks for being so positive. Like, my spirit's going to live on. And he's like, yeah, no, that's not what I'm talking about. So it turns out that you don't have Huntington's and what you were using, excuse me, what you were using was saline. And she's like, I ran that test like 400,000 times through multiple labs. What do you mean I don't have Huntington's? And he's like, yeah, no, sorry. Column manipulated every single test. And what was in that syringe was saline. And she flipped out about all of the horrible things that she has done because she was under his control, just worrying about herself, which was totally understandable, and not wanting to die. But whenever
Yeah.
she said, if I would have just taken a drop and looked at it under a microscope, I was like, man, that would eat at me for
That's
life. Like,
the worst.
right
But
there
also,
was your answer.
Jason sent it to Brick, and Brick sent it to some crazy. How did this not get figured out beforehand?
Right? It should have been, like she said, one look under the microscope to be like, yeah, that's not what that is. What are you talking
Right.
about?
Yeah.
So,
I
yeah,
wish that it
Rick's not
had
doing a
been
very good job.
how somebody wrote in that, like, at least he was dosing her with something that would present the symptoms of Huntington's, and like maybe like
Mm-hmm.
on and off, like some were saline, some were some kind of a
Right.
biomedical something, at
Mm-hmm.
least give us that. But no,
I
for it
agree.
to all always be saline, I don't like that at all. Because
No.
exactly, like, no.
Nope.
It
Yeah,
should have
it
come back from
doesn't
the
make
test with
sense.
Brick. It should have, like,
I agree. I agree.
yeah.
But then he,
You're telling me Brad would not have taken one and been like, well, let me see if I can figure it out before you go that far.
right. Right. Or, I mean, just like she kind of said, she never thought to take a look at it just to see. I mean, I understand why she didn't, because you would think that you're going to die and just you want your meds. Who cares? But looking back on it, yeah, I would struggle with that for years
Yeah.
now of why didn't I just look at one drop? And then she says, you can't fake the fact that I had symptoms whenever I didn't get the meds. And he was like, that's psychological. You knew you weren't getting your meds. So your brain told you that you had these symptoms. But that doesn't make sense as to what made it start to begin with. Remember, she went
Had
to
the
find
tremors.
out, yeah, if she had it because she was experiencing tremors. So, what were the tremors for? And whatever was causing the tremors, she could still have, and that could be why she gets them every now and again.
Right.
And there would be no way to regulate that versus when you were or weren't getting the saline. So
Right.
I don't know. I hope it does come back at least. Like, again, I know it's awful, but that it comes
Something.
back that he was drugging her at that point in time to cause the
Yeah.
tremors. Like that something was wrong with her body, not just, oh, one day I had a tremor, so I took this test and now I have this horrible disease and it ruined my whole life.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially where, and this is where I don't like when they do this. So much of the show is fantasy. So much of the show is off the wall, but when it comes to real life things like this,
Mm-hmm.
they do a really good job. And for a horrible thing, they did a good job of showing her starting to notice the things and to
Right.
find out that that was all like, yeah, I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I,
need some type of diagnosis somewhere for it
yeah,
to make sense that she would have even tested to begin with.
yeah,
Because it wasn't like, at least not that we saw even back then, someone from Column's organization was like, oh, your
right.
dad had Huntington's and put that idea in her head. She knew that. She talked to Obrecht about it.
It's because Maxie was pregnant with Bailey Lou, right?
Mm,
Isn't that was around the time because they were wondering about Peter.
right.
But
Right.
Britt was showing symptoms. So it's not
Mm-hmm.
like she just went and got tested for the family, for peace of mind for everyone. That, I mean, you would
Right.
think, like, if they had just found out about Faison's diagnosis, yeah, everybody go get tested,
Mm-hmm.
but no, it had been years. So she, like you said, she started to experience things. So she went to get tested
Right.
and was diagnosed. So yeah, I hope that there's more to it. And like you said, like I don't want anything to be wrong with her, but I hope that there is an answer to some of the symptoms that she's been showing. Why?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Does she have something neurologically going, like causing the tremors? Like
Mm-hmm.
that's doesn't have to be a massive diagnosis. It could just be, I don't know what it could be. So I don't know. I'm not even gonna go
Right.
trying to guess, but yeah.
Yeah.
But then that's when so she and Liesel had been fighting
Mm-hmm.
before, but then she called Liesel back and that's when she had her complete breakdown and Liesel just basically I feel like she kind of just like let everything go. She's like, wow, like
Right.
your entire life for the past 8 years has been a
Mm-hmm.
lie, so yeah, I understand why you did everything that you did. And I don't know when she was diagnosed. I could be wrong on the 8 years. Okay, guys, it could be like 5.
Yeah.
But then that's when Nina showed up and told them all about Cassius.
Right.
And I'm like, but when did you find out about Cassius?
I feel like that was just something that Obrecht told her behind the scenes.
Okay. I don't know where to go from there.
I'm gonna jump to the other thing that annoyed me just because I was super annoyed with Portia and the whole Curtis going to jail. So Curtis is offered,
God, why are we still doing this?
right?
Why?
Right? Curtis is offered a plea bargain that will put him in jail for 8 months plus restitution, whatever. We see him talking on the phone to his lawyer and saying, no, he doesn't want to do that. We see Laura, when she was talking to Martin, is like, hey, I have this friend maybe you can consult with. So Martin goes and talks to him. And then at the same time, we see Portia at the pool with Isaiah talking to Rick. And that's whenever Trina sees them and she has to fight the urge to go butt in and
Fix
whatever
everything.
because she's
Fix
holding
fix her
boundaries.
parents' problems. Yeah.
Right. But they're talking to Rick, and Isaiah continues to say, like, I'm upset. I want some type of something done. It's not really about the money, but it is because I took all this time to get this specialty and now I may never operate
Yeah.
again, whatever. And Portia is
It's his
sitting there saying,
livelihood.
right. And
Yeah.
Rick's saying, well, it's a little complicated because, they're going to look at the fact that both of Portia's kids are by Curtis and this is all intertwined with this or whatever. Can't they say, like, we don't want him to go to jail? Why would Portia want her baby daddy to go to jail? She knows that he did not intentionally hurt his hand. It
Especially
was
where
something that
Isaiah is the
happened.
one doing the charges because they've already talked about the fact that they can't
Right. So
or
can't
that
you, and I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know, maybe it is something that you have to say, but I would think if I'm suing you for something, can't I say I don't want her to go to jail? I understand that the next consequence was an accident, but I do want her to pay me the $50,000 or whatever.
Where
I feel
it's
like if you
assault,
could,
there's probably order that you have to go on.
but I'm
It
assuming that
it has
Curtis
to
doesn't have a
probably,
major record.
yeah, but they probably still have to follow protocol because
Hmm,
there's probably things that they still have to do if the charges are being brought.
maybe. I feel
Because
like,
I mean, there's been times where it's not necessarily like whenever they do victim impact statements and the family doesn't necessarily ask the judge for death sentence or something like that, but the judge can decide to do it because they
right.
feel that it's so it could be. And I think that that's part of where I'm sorry, even if I did not do the thing, if I had a choice between 8 months or possibly 10 years, I would pick the 8 months
Yes.
in a heartbeat because I know I'm going to be a good inmate.
Hmm.
I'm going to get out in 8 months, right? Like they're going to
Right.
start a program named after me afterwards because I did so much good stuff behind bars. Like,
Every inmate now watches General Hospital.
exactly. But I do think that it's, I'm going to say that, and I could be totally wrong, but I feel like it's, if you're going to bring X charges, you don't get to pick where we start. It's, you're either doing this charge or you're not. There's not like an in
Hmm.
between.
See, I feel like it should be something that can be negotiated, especially because it is only 8 months. Like, okay, if this was like murder or something, yes, I see that I don't get to say, oh, well, I hated
Right.
that person. I wanted them dead anyway. So, no, you don't have to go to jail. Like, that's not okay. But
Right, right, right,
for
right, right.
something like you punched me because I mouthed off about how I'm going to be a better parent than you are. And whenever I fell, I got injured. No, I want you to give me money. I want you to know that you inflicted this issue on me and that you're a jerk. But making you, I mean, I just feel like that would ruin, as if I was Portia, even though she's totally ridiculous. If you did something that then sent my baby daddy away for the first 8 months of my kid's life, I would be mad at you. Why did you have to push it that far? Why couldn't you have figured out a way to make it work? And
She's possibly also thinking with her doctor brain though, because he lost his
maybe,
livelihood.
but she should be thinking with her mom brain because
Mhm.
this baby, no offense, but a baby doesn't know who's there, who's not there,
Right,
especially during the
right.
first 8 months. Trina, who has spent the last how many years, suddenly he's her dad and we just forget about Taggart, is going to be angry. She's starting this new music career and my dad's not going to be there because he's in jail because he punched your boyfriend and he fell and hurt his hand.
Yep, yep.
Like Portia and Lulu need to sit down and have some intense counseling
They need to
on
have celebrity death
how
match. Can we please
how
bring
they
back
are
that
going to
show?
lose their children. Like,
That'd be so good.
you're ridiculous.
But
But
here's the thing.
yeah.
Curtis gets off the phone with his attorney at Jordan's place.
Hmm.
Talks about his possibilities because if it's even possible that Willow is the driver, it takes away his provocation defense. Jordan says that they haven't proved that it was Willow. They have also not proved it was Isaiah.
Right.
And then he mentions that Michael, Tracy, and Sonny are all perfectly capable of setting up Willow. And Jordan's like, I want you to fight, but, this is a huge gamble because you're taking a chance that you're not going to be in your baby's life for 10 years.
Yeah.
10 years. No. But Curtis is like, no, I need to have my name and my pride for my baby.
Well, he
Or
did
he needs
say
to
that he
defend
was
his child's
concerned.
namesake.
And he was concerned because he is past law enforcement that he would get his butt kicked in prison.
I feel like I feel like especially where I think that's something that they could take into consideration is, okay, you've really not done anything to this degree. You did this. You've been found guilty. But we understand that we do have to protect that because that is a thing. And it's
Right.
not like, and I am not saying that this is okay, but I know that oftentimes we hear in jail that there are certain offenders
Hmm.
that it does not matter who you were on the outside. If you did something to a certain demographic, the inmates
Right.
are going to take care of you.
Right. Yep.
I'm not saying that that's okay or that, it's understandable, but being past law, yeah, like that's something that he punched a guy. It is where we are,
Right.
that's not something that I feel the general population, other than the fact that they would be beating him up because he was a previous cop, like because he was a
Mhm.
previous detective. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah, it's not like he did something to.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yep. No, I don't know. I don't know how the law works, but I feel like that should be an option because, you know, if you hit someone with your car and they get super injured, you don't get the same sentence as if you hit someone with your car, but you were drunk while you were driving. Like there's an intent
Right,
versus a
right,
oops. It like true meaning of
right.
accident. Yes, the hit was intentional, but he absolutely it's not like he slammed his hand in a car door or something like that. He was not trying to injure his hand. He was just caught up in the moment
He
of
was just
you
trying to
said
hit
you were
his
going to be a
face.
better dad. Right. Don't say you're going to be a better dad than I am.
Well, you're trying to hurt the person. I mean, that is intent.
It was intent to hurt your face, not take away your livelihood.
You don't get to, but you don't get to control how the body reacts to physical force.
I also feel like Isaiah just
It's
like
reasonable to assume
exaggerates
that someone is
everything.
going to fall over if you hit them. It's not like he was sitting in a chair. If Isaiah had been sitting in a chair with arms and Curtis punched him, there is more protection for the side to side, that it would be less likely that he were to fall. He was standing up.
He was standing up, but again,
Right.
Curtis
And
didn't
yet
need to.
he's not a Weeble. He's
Weeble.
not a Weeble.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me know that. I thought for a minute he might be. All right. So, yeah, I agree with Trina keeping her distance,
So
but she needed to go over to those Weebles and tell them I'm going to be mad if you send my dad to jail.
just wanted an attorney to say that in court. He's not a Weeble. They fall down.
I mean, Rick has said more off the wall stuff. Maybe if that's who's representing Isaiah, that's what he'll say for you. Should have anticipated that. He's not a Weeble. I rest my case. Okay.
It's just the episode that I laugh and cry so much.
I
Okay.
was going to say, what's in your coffee mug over there? My goodness.
Water.
Okay, where do you want to go from there?
Does Trina not know that Joss was shot?
Oh yeah, I guess not.
I
Yeah,
guess not.
Trina's the one person that doesn't know she's a WSB agent.
Right.
There you go.
That was kind of my one-off on,
Hmm.
she's planning this whole showcase. She's the whole thing.
I mean, she's hanging at the pool. She's at the pool.
Well, she's finally
Not
trying to turn her brain off, which I can appreciate.
yes, but she is going to be mad when she finds out that Joss is in the hospital and she was
Yep.
turning her brain off instead of visiting her friend.
But I love Kai. Like, you're supposed to be not thinking right now. But he was sweet about it, when
Yeah.
he was letting her go and then just looking at her, and she looked at him and was like, okay, I'm gonna
Yep.
stop. Oh, Vaughn went and visited Joss.
Mm-hmm.
They were cute. He's leaving though. He's going to
Yes.
Bornero, and he just wanted to say hi. They were cute and little flirty and everything, but
Mm-hmm. And they
yeah.
admitted that Brennan was right. They could not have continued working together. It would have compromised. So
Yep.
she didn't even
Oh,
get a kiss goodbye though. I thought that he was going
no.
to come over and like at least kiss her forehead or something. I was sad for her for that.
And then Sonny found out from Carly that Joss was in the ICU because he had been in there visiting Ethan. She
Mhm.
tells him, oh yeah, Joss is in the WSB and it's because of us.
Mm-hmm.
Not because of you, because of us.
Us, right?
And there was a lifetime of bad decisions. And then a car pulls up and Valentin steps out. Why could he have not shaved? I am so sorry. Why? Why?
He was in a
I
rush to
don't
get
like it.
home.
I don't like it. And he got that suit. Hold on, JD is coming downstairs. What's up? Oh,
Well, come on, see.
I do. But did you see my Did you see the cartoon that comic strip that somebody
No, I
wrote
haven't
for
even
me?
looked at my phone. I've been doing.
Come here.
I'm gonna have to do a Lowe's trip.
Come here.
Uh-oh.
Hold it. I need to get your face. Hi, guys. This is JD.
Is that Cesar?
Yeah.
He looks like an evil Doc Brown in this.
That's what Faison looks
Way to
like.
go, Faison. Oh, you
Valentin.
Valentin.
But that's me.
I figured that out.
He's like, I got that.
All right. So had to take like a quick break real quick. I know we just left off with JD read the comic strip, and I think we left off actually like that. I feel like that was perfect timing though, was we were talking about Valentin stepped out of the car and Carly ditched Sonny and booked it to Valentin and hugged him, and then they kissed, and Charlotte and Lulu also saw.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I know. I was just like smiling and teary-eyed. Like that was so good. That was so good. That was such a good. Could have shaved, but I mean, whatever. JD did wind up watching Friday with me, and I looked at him. I went, no. No. So we're not in the 70s anymore. So
I agree.
But the one thing that we forgot to talk about when Lulu and Charlotte got in the car that she should not be able to afford, she gave Charlotte a tough time for eavesdropping.
Yep.
I was waiting for it to be like, as she's yelling at her, I wanted Charlotte so badly to yell at her. I learned it from you, Mom.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man.
Like,
yeah.
The
she was like,
1990s
I started.
Where did you learn how to do that?
Right. I started to listen, and then, well, you shouldn't have kept listening. Okay, because anyone hears juicy gossip like that and would stop. Give me a break.
Lulu turns it into news articles.
Right?
She blows up people's lives. Hello, Brooklyn.
Right. Yep.
Like,
ridiculous.
Such a hypocrite.
And then they saw Valentin, and she wouldn't let Charlotte go to him. And then later, Valentin... Yep. Valentin is... Well, she's talking about wanting to go... Charlotte's talking about wanting to go and see Valentin. And she won't let her leave. And she says, I'm not letting you leave because I'm not sure what's going on with him, if he is still wanted or not.
He drove up to the hospital.
Thank you.
In a car.
In broad daylight.
In broad daylight.
Yes. Right?
What do you think's happening, Lulu?
Yeah.
Think, journalist. Put the pieces together.
Exactly. He's not still on the run if he's getting out in broad daylight in a very populated area. Like, what in the heck?
And I don't feel like Dante got all the information because I feel like they just said, we saw Valentin, and he's like, okay, I'll call and get the info, whatever. And he's like, yeah, and they're like, well, now that he's been found, he's definitely going back to Steinmauer. And Charlotte's like, you need to remember that I love my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And then Dante comes back in the room and says that he was released with a full pardon, no charges. And Rocco defended Charlotte lying to them.
Yep.
And then Valentin shows up, and Charlotte straight up said, Lulu would not let me see you. And this is where Dante's just like, he's a great adult as well. Because he was like, well, I'm going to, because you're my daughter. Dante offers to take Charlotte and Rocco to the Metrocourt pool just to, kind of chill a little bit. And he's like, yeah, so I think your parents have some stuff that they need to talk about. And
right. And Valentin left it like whenever she said, Mom wouldn't let me run to you because she didn't know. Valentin was like, I mean, that was fair. She didn't have the information yet. He didn't freak out on her. Okay.
He was like, okay. He's like, yeah, but I'm still going to see you. Like, we'll get together later, and like, he was definitely like letting Charlotte know, I'm not ditching you. I'm not leaving. I am here. But as soon as they left, Valentin's like, I want 50-50 custody. And he lets her know that she is the problem and reminds her that when Charlotte is 18, she will not be who Charlotte chooses.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And the thing is, I don't understand what it is that Lulu thinks is going to happen. He obviously, from his reaction to Carly, is not leaving town. It's not like he said, I want 50-50 custody, so I'm going to take Charlotte for half the year to Paris, and then you're going to get her the other half of the year in Port Charles. As we stand right now, he's most likely living in Carly's house she can't go have a sleepover at your cousin's house every other weekend? Like, what? Yeah. In Charlotte's case, Valentin had already been given custody in the very beginning. We
Mm-hmm.
talked about all of
Mm-hmm.
this already. So
Yep. Go listen to
he,
part 1.
right, he absolutely would be able to say, yeah, I want her and she wants to live with me. And Lulu would be the one on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
But I also don't understand. I mean, your kids are like way older now, but even whenever they were at the teenage years, I'm like that with Madeline. If she says to me, I want to go to dad's house because they're doing something fun this weekend, or even
Right.
just I want to hang out with my dad, if I don't have pre-planned something or
Right.
we had something going on, it doesn't matter if you're sitting here or if you're sitting at your dad's house. Yeah, go to your dad's. Who cares? So
Right.
I would assume Charlotte's going to do the same thing. Like, I want to spend tonight at this age, they're hanging out with their friends more than they're hanging out with their
Right.
parents anyway. So
Well, she's not
she'll
even allowed
spend
to have friends, though. Like,
right. She'll spend a few nights at her dad's and then the novelty will wear off and she'll flip flop back and forth when she's not busy with other people.
right. But Rocco says that Charlotte is going through, this is what he was telling Dante, was that
Mhm.
Charlotte's going through with Lulu and Valentin, what he's been going through with Dante, Lulu, and Britt. Who's the common denominator? I'm bad at math,
Right.
but there's one.
Yep.
Because I really do feel like Dante and Britt bicker, but
They can
I
admit
do
that
feel like
they're
each
the best
respects each
interests.
other, right? Who each other are too, and they'll argue about the logistics of it all, And I mean, I do feel bad for Lulu on the fact that, like, she didn't even know about Charlotte or that she existed, that she, like, all those things. Absolutely. But that's what therapy's for.
Right. And that
How about we
doesn't
get
change
some of
how
that?
Charlotte feels.
Right. And that's the more important part is
Mhm.
you need to learn how to deal with the fact that your daughter, this is the situation. She can't change the facts of the situation. Charlotte was born the way that she was born. Rocco was born the way that he was born. Those are
Mhm.
things that cannot change.
Right.
Rocco loves Britt. Charlotte loves Valentin.
And in both
And there's nothing wrong
cases,
with that.
be happy that it did happen the way that it did, because if it didn't, you wouldn't have any kids at all.
Exactly. Exactly. So,
So be mad at the adults in the situation, not the kid that resulted. It
right,
was not their fault.
right. But then Rocco says that Charlotte told Danny that he shot Cullum.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
then Charlotte goes and tells Danny that Valentin's back. Well, we must all, we danced around it that Danny went to see Brennan. We did
Yes, yes.
not. You
Right.
want to talk about
Yeah,
that? Because you started it.
I did. He went to see Brennan and was like, "Hey, listen, you have my
When
dad
Brennan was still in Turning Woods. Because
Turning
I
Woods,"
think
right?
we've already gotten him out. So we're putting him back in Turning Woods for a minute.
I don't think we've talked about him being out yet
Maybe not. Okay.
because we haven't got to
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Willow's yet. So
Yep.
right now he's still in Turning Woods, and so he goes to him and he's like, "Look, you have my dad in jail for something that he didn't do, and so if I tell you who did do it, I don't know why it matters one way or the other now that Cullum's dead and we know that he's not a great guy. So let me tell you some information if I need to. Either way, can my dad get out of jail?" And Brennan's like, "So the way that we're writing it is that Cullum's a great guy and it doesn't matter. Your dad tried to kill him, so he's going to serve this time. It doesn't matter that he's dead already." And he's like, "But I can tell you who did it." And he's like, "Sure, you can tell me, but it doesn't matter." So he did tell him, "Hey, yeah, it was Rocco
I
Falconeri."
could not believe that he actually still did it, even after Cullum was like, it's literally not going to matter.
Yep. And he was like, "So keep that information to yourself because, again, it doesn't matter. We're not letting your dad out." And he says, "Well, can you at least get a letter to him if I give it to you? Because I haven't talked to him forever." And I was like,
Yeah.
"That's so sad."
A letter
And
telling him
so,
that he loves him.
yes. So then later, whenever we see them at the pool and he tells Charlotte, "Yeah, I told Brennan. Brennan said it doesn't matter." And she's telling him how happy she is to have Valentine back. I thought for a second that Jason was going to walk in then at the pool.
Right?
Because if we know that Valentine got off from what Jocelyn did, then Jason was part of that deal too. So I thought that that was going to be the moment that he walked out also. And it was going to be like, yay. But no,
Yeah.
as we stand right now, Jason is not home yet. And so,
Also, Jason also has to be released. So there's probably like an extra process there. Whereas Valentin like literally walked into the
True.
WSB and they just didn't kill him.
Right.
Hi, Cookie's
Right.
here. Here she comes. Here she comes. Cookie, say hi.
She needed to make an entrance.
She did. Hi. Hi, honey. But yeah. And then that's where also Rocco was like thanking Dante for having to pick between when to be a cop and when to be a dad and like kind of turning a blind eye to a lot of things that
Right.
he didn't necessarily have to, but he did. But then, and Dante told him, because he said, he was like, I really hope that you can forgive me for some of the things that I said. And Dante's like, there's nothing to forgive, but we're going to have to figure out how to work with Lulu.
Your mother's a little unreasonable, so.
Lulu's a little delulu.
So while all that was happening, Lulu went to Carly's and was like, so.
Real quick before that, though, Carly had gone to see Joss. That was first. Carly went to see Joss because it was right after Z.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. Okay. So Carly goes.
So Carly had gone to see Joss. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And
I don't know if any of this. I feel like some of this does matter. That's why
I think it just mattered with Carly's emotion because she talked to Joss and was like, okay, so I'm trying to figure out how to get you out of here. And Joss again was like, look, Mom, I'm an adult. I made my own decision. I want to be in the WSB and I did all this training. I'm staying in. And she was like, I had to worry about you dying. And she was like, yeah, but I didn't die. And at the end of the day, I feel like I'm making a difference. And this is the type of stuff that I want to do. And so she said, basically you can choose to still be my mom and we can have a relationship and you can know this is my job, or you can choose not to. And I respect your decision either way, but you need to respect my decision either way. I'm sticking with the WSB. And so Carly, I feel like said what every mother would say.
And she joined because of Morgan and Dex, like Dex and Morgan.
Yes.
It wasn't just because Carly was like, I can't lose you like I lost Morgan. She's like, yeah, but that's also part of why. That's part of why she joined.
Right.
But then Brennan came in and saw her.
Oh, yeah.
And told Carly that she was happy that she got her happy ending. Sees that she got her happy ending. But that he needed to talk to Joss.
Yes.
But then, yes, Lulu goes to see Carly.
Right. So Carly leaves because Brennan's talking to Joss. And so she gets home and then Lulu shows up and is like, I just needed some clarification here. So
that's not going to matter so much that we skipped over it. We'll get it.
Okay. Yeah. So you were letting my daughter come over here and see Valentin without ever saying anything to me. And Carly was like, okay, so back up. First of all, you need to understand my daughter is in the WSB. I needed to get her out. So I went to see Valentin at Steinmauer. I pretended to be his attorney. So then she was like, so Lulu was like, so you helped him escape. And she was like, no, I'm not that much of a mastermind. I said I would get him transferred back to the US so that would be easier for him to still perhaps have visitation or whatever. He did all of his escape and whatever. I had nothing to do with that. And then he showed up here and he refused to leave. What was I supposed to do? I needed his information to get my daughter out. And Lulu was like, so you sacrificed my daughter for your daughter? And she was like, no, your daughter was here visiting in a safe space. Like, I was dating Brennan. No one was expecting that Valentin was here. Hence why we're months later and no one had any idea he was staying here. So your daughter was fine.
Well, because she even says, she's like, Valentin tried to poison me last year. Actually, he didn't. He didn't try to poison you.
Right. It was Brennan.
He was trying to poison Brennan. I mean, there is a difference. But, and Lulu's like, do you even hear yourself? You're saying that.
Yeah, she was like, you don't care about Charlotte at all. And Carly was like, that's not true. I love that girl. What are you talking about?
She's like, do you not realize that Valentin is why Charlotte was almost shot in Prague? Wasn't Lulu? Because she's who uncovered and let it be known that that's where they were. And that's why somebody followed Lulu, right? Like, I'm not misremembering that. Somebody followed Lulu.
Nope, they followed Lulu. Yep.
Okay. Just so again, that person would not have been shooting at Charlotte.
Yep. If you hadn't drawn attention to them.
Lulu had not.
Yep.
Okay.
But she'll
just
never
want to make
take
sure I
that
wasn't wrong on that one.
responsibility.
Just want to make sure. But
You'll
then
have to
she
write that
seriously
news
says
story.
to Carly, you don't know him like I know him. You don't know Valentin. From day one, you have never even tried.
Right. That's the whole point, is Charlotte wasn't conceived naturally. So you weren't in a relationship with him. It's not like you
Right.
have intimate knowledge of anything, of his personality, of his whatever. You know that he
And I
kept
get
her
that.
from you,
Like,
which I'm not
right.
saying isn't wrong. It was wrong. But
Absolutely.
again, now
From
we have a
day one
child,
that
figure it
they have
out.
been in contact together, he has been trying to get this to be as normal of a situation
Right.
for
As
the
possible.
child.
Best interest of the child. Yep. Over and over and over again.
And yes, we are ignoring the first 5 years that he kept her from Lulu. Straight up are.
I mean,
But
I'm not saying
yeah,
Lulu can be mad at Valentin for the
yeah,
rest of her life, as she should
yep.
be for the things that he did. But at the end of the day, you still have to understand that that is your child's father, no matter what. And you have to show
Yeah.
some level of respect in regards to that. We all have exes that are awful, but you still have to figure out how to make it work if you have
And he has
kids.
time and time again left Charlotte because that's in her best interest.
Hmm. Right.
So,
Lulu wouldn't even
yeah,
have her period. Lulu would have never had anything with her if it wasn't for him.
yeah.
So,
And us ignoring it doesn't mean that it was okay either. Like, I'm just saying
no.
that, like, but it's once we found out about Charlotte, Lulu found out about Charlotte, Valentin has been trying since that point.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And then, yeah, Lulu left. She like stormed off. Oh, she said, he's going to do to you what he did to Nina, and then you're going to be done. And then she stormed away.
Yeah. And Anna.
Yes. And Anna.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yep. So before that, though, crap, we have a lot to still talk about. We'll just, okay, let's go back to Anna coming home,
Hmm.
because then that can bring us up. Anna came home. Gio cleaned the entire apartment,
Yes.
bought all of her favorites,
Hmm.
the cutest. And I wrote it down because Emma's packaging something up. I was like, did she make her a new mug? And I wrote it down. I said, yep, I was right. That was
Yep.
so sweet. I'm so glad that she did that because I feel like she definitely did that more for her.
Yes. Absolutely.
But she definitely did it because, I mean, I could just picture Anna going to the pantry to get that mug and be like, where did it go?
Yeah.
And then Emma losing it. So she was very easily said, hey, I broke your mug. I made you a new one. Okay, cool.
10.
And then Felicia and Mac, Emma and Gio basically threw like a little surprise party. And we find out that they had to replace an end table because Fizz chewed the leg. And Anna's
She's
just like
like,
trying
who's
to
Fizz?
absorb all this. She's like, who's Fizz? Like, where's Outback? Like, what's going on?
Right.
But then Anna thanked Gio for taking care of Emma. And he said that he loves her even though she's a handful, and then corrected himself and said, but also because she is a handful.
Hmm.
He
They're so
loved
cute.
it.
Yeah.
And so he had to go to work. And Anna's like, why don't you, with Emma, you go, hang out with him. And then she tells Mac and Felicia to go too. She's like, listen, I'm jet lagged. I need some time, whatever. And then that's when Dante showed up, police, whatever, tells Anna that Cassius
When
is
she
dead.
shut the door from them, Peter was there.
Nope. That was after Dante left.
Was it? Oh,
Yep.
okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yep. So he yelled like the police, whatever. They catch up. He tells her that Cassius is dead,
Hmm.
tells her about Cullum also, and apologizes. She apologizes to him for not vetting Cassius better and says like he is why she was in that mental institution the whole time. And then Dante left. And then Peter shows up
Okay.
and says, you're home and we can finally get your revenge. What? No.
Yep.
No.
Well, maybe Obrecht will help of clearing all that up so she won't need Peter and his revenge idea. Obrecht shows up and is like, I need you to help me clear my son's name because he was a wonderful person and this was all Column. And Anna's like,
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about, whether you call him Nathan or Cassius. He locked me up in this room. Well, she didn't remember at first that she was locked up.
I don't feel like
Obrecht,
she was being argumentative, but not in the I don't believe you, in the this is what happened to me. So like this is Cullum that I know, and this is
right,
Cassius.
right.
So Cassius is the only one who did stuff to me.
Yes, exactly. So Obrecht says, I was held in the same room that you were because whenever Britt went on the run, then they kidnapped me and they had me work on it. And Jocelyn was there too. And Anna is still trying to figure out what was real versus what wasn't real from her time at the institution. So she's like, wait, what room? Because they told me I was crazy. And so
Mm-hmm.
Obrecht draws it out and is like, there was a bed here and you had written this on the wall and this was the door and whatever. And Anna's like, okay, I thought I remembered that, but they said I was insane. And she's like, nope, you were there. You were held there, had the date on the wall, whatever. And so Anna's like, okay, well, if that's all true, then I know that the person who put me in there was Cassius pretending
Mm-hmm.
to be Nathan. So how are you going to tell me that he was the good guy? And Obrecht just goes on and on about how it was all Column and Cassius was just working for him because he had to. And so she needs Anna's help to clear Cassius's name. And Anna's like, no, I don't. I can only go by what I know. And Cassius did these things to me, and that makes him the bad guy. And that's the end of it.
And not just that, that what he did impersonating Nathan reminds her of Cesar.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that Liesel really did understand like everything she was saying. She's like,
Right.
yeah, but you're wrong. But also
Yeah.
she's not, because Cassius did do that stuff. But Liesel suggested they go talk to Joss. Because she's like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, Joss was there, and so was Carly.
Right. Exactly. Someone can clear this up. So then
Yeah.
Obrecht leaves.
I
So
I do
maybe.
hope that she's able to, but at the same time, Cassius did do those things.
He did.
So unless we
He
had
did.
like a really, really, really good reason why. Oh, we found out that the prototype was confiscated.
Yes, which scares
So
me because that just means it's going to end up in the
great.
wrong person's hands. It needs destroyed.
Well, is that what Z's gonna ask Cassius help with?
Oh, maybe. Okay.
Ooh, I didn't think about that. I did not think about that. I thought that they were just gonna use Cassius to draw out Faison.
Well, they can't do that because Faison's already dead. Oh.
Excuse me. I have a comic strip showing that he's not. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I seriously want to print that out.
Yeah.
Like
I was going to say.
I need my son to move out so I can get my podcast room so that I can have my office/podcast room so I can put that on my wall.
There
I'll
you
work
go.
on it. I'm not kicking my son out so I can print off a
Right.
picture.
Right. That would
and
be a great
hang
story.
It. Just
Why'd you
I'm
get
pretty
kicked
sure.
out? My
I'm
mom
pretty sure
needed
that
my room.
everybody at this point knows. Like that's not
Yeah.
happening. But
Uh,
so then we can skip a whole bunch of stuff because we have to let that end. We have to get to the end. So we want to skip over to they're finally dressing Brooklyn very well. Very cute.
mhm.
Very flattering. And Chase tells her that she's being framed. And at the same time, because that's when they were at the pool, and Michael and Jacinda were playing hooky at the pool, and they talk about how the GPS was changed and mention, again, the only two people in this entire town that seem to remember that this accident was not a crime.
Right?
But then they talk about the fact that Daisy's first birthday was in June, and it
I
was just
know.
Sasha and
And her parents.
parents.
Yeah.
But they got her a smash cupcake, and Michael did get a video of it.
Mm-hmm.
So happy about that. And Chase walked up as Jacinda was saying that things are closing in on Willow and there's not going to be very many people left after they find out about the accident. And Chase is like, oh, that's what you guys are hoping for, blah, 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 blah. And Michael basically is like, listen, I love my cousin. You are throwing away the family that you have been wanting for Willow.
Right. And he says, I didn't do it. You're wasting
Yeah.
your time talking to me because regardless of if you're going to investigate it or not, I had nothing to do with it. So
Yep.
knock it off.
And then Tracy was at the hospital and she was on the phone with Yuri. So like,
Mhm.
and this is what we're talking about. We love the fact that like we're still keeping them engaged, even if it's just a phone call. Like tell the landscaper the grounds look great. And Willow walks in because she is there to enroll the hospital in the affordable childcare program. And Tracy goes after her, and Willow's like, Chase and I are just friends. Willow says that Tracy's only friends are horses, but Willow says that she is the only one that Tracy is the only one that's putting the strain on Brooklyn and Chase's marriage. And Willow reminds Tracy that she ran down her daughter-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
I Googled. What?
Was it daughter-in-law or sister-in-law? I thought it was sister-in-law. I thought they were talking about Monica.
So hold on. Okay. I guess I could have also gone back and, checked that. I thought
I thought she's
Run
that.
down
I don't know. I could be
sister-in-law.
wrong.
She did not run. Monica was involved in a... Nope. She said that so either daughter or sister-in-law. I could not find anything for daughter-in-law, but she did say ran down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Kidnapped her own son.
Yeah, that's not kidnapping.
That's from Larry Ashton, though. Like,
Right.
or no, sorry, Paul Hornsby
Oh, right. Sorry.
is Dylan's. Yeah.
Yeah.
However correctly said, and left your father on the floor gasping at his heart.
Yep, that was right.
So that's the correct one.
But again, then Tracy didn't say it because she doesn't actually have proof. But okay, and you shot your husband in the back 2 times. Like,
But she tells Willow to stop calling Chase for support, and Willow accuses Tracy of setting her up, and then Tracy realizes that it was Brooklyn.
mm-hmm.
And so then at the Quartermain Mansion, Brooklyn is showing Tracy a photo of Phoebe with the bunny that she gave her. So I guess she gave her a little bunny. And Tracy straight up says, Willow is saying either Michael or I set her up, and just looks at her and says, how could you be so reckless?
Yeah.
Because it's Lucy. It's because of Lucy that it's all going to get found out, because Tracy can't believe that she put the fate of her marriage in the hands of Lucy. She gave her half of her ELQ or her deception shares. Tracy says that she is a bird brain with a room temperature IQ. And she said Alan married her underestimating that being with Lucy as at one's own, like trusting Lucy as it is at one's own peril. And it's not going to work out for her. That Lucy's only after Lucy.
I was disappointed. So everything that Tracy said, absolutely correct. No arguments there. But I was disappointed with Lucy at the pool whenever she starts talking to Chase. Why are you giving that much information away? I know he asked, like,
she's
hey,
a ding dong and thinks that she was covering.
I feel like Lucy is better at being manipulative whenever she wants to be. I didn't understand.
She was on the phone with Serena.
She was on the phone with Serena.
Talking
Serena's
about
trying
real
to set
estate.
her up.
Yep.
Yeah, Serena's trying to set her up on a blind date, and she's like, I'm not interested in that, but if you want to give him my number in case he ever wants to sell that beachfront property, I would be more than happy to talk to him about that.
Yep.
And then Chase comes over and is like, so it came out of nowhere that you suddenly remembered that Willow was at the house, and why did you remember that? And she was like, I was just being a good citizen. And then he's like, why were you even at the house? Were you talking to Tracy? And she was like, no, I was hanging out with Brooklyn. And then he's like, no, Brooklyn was on her way to go see Gio sing. And she's like, no, before that, I was hanging out with her.
And that's
when he
actually true.
It is true. And when he made that face, I thought for a second that maybe he was actually putting it together that Brooklyn didn't just set up Willow. She set up Willow because she's the one that did it.
Me too.
And then
me too.
He didn't say that whenever he was talking to Brooklyn, and I was like, dude, I know you're just a cop right now, but you were a detective. Like, same thing. Are you getting your investigative skills from the same place Lulu gets hers? Like, come on. Why are you not putting these together? Bottom line, Lucy, I was so disappointed with. If she wants to hide a secret, she does a way better job than that. And she told him about getting the shares because that was better for deception because of everything that was going on with Jens and whatever. And the whole time, Chase is just like, nope, none of this makes any sense.
Right. So then we saw Chase go and talk to Brooklyn. He walked in the door as Brooklyn is telling Phoebe how much she and Chase love her, and then turns around and says, there's Daddy. No. Until that paperwork is signed, no. They are breaking my heart. So he says that there's nothing more important to him than Phoebe. Doesn't say Brooklyn and Phoebe. Tells Phoebe, there is nothing more important to me than you. And then tells Brooklyn that he talked to Tracy. And is like, why didn't you tell me? Lucy. Yep, Lucy.
And we're both going to do it.
And Brooklyn's like, why are you interfering again in an investigation regarding Willow? Because remember, that's how you were demoted. Like, do you just want to lose your job? And he's like, he says that he thinks that Willow's trip log was altered and straight up asks, "Are you who is framing Willow?" And she actually admitted it.
She said they
And
promised not to lie to each other.
yep,
She had to be honest.
yep. And she's like, "Do you understand that everybody else sees Willow wants you back,
Mm-hmm.
but you?" And it was just hard.
But he then turned around and was like, the biggest disappointment in all of this is that you had set up Willow, not anything to do with their relationship or how
Right.
insecure she's feeling or
Yep.
reassuring her. It was again about Willow. And then she snapped. I was happy with her for that because then she
Me
snapped
too.
and was like, are you kidding me? After this whole conversation, your biggest concern is still Willow, not us, not Phoebe, not our
Right.
relationship, just the fact that this is going to hurt her. Like, it wasn't even a crime. She's not going to be found guilty of anything. It's just going to make her look bad in public opinion. I'm not saying that it wasn't wrong, but between us, what you should be concerned about is our relationship, not your precious Willow.
Right.
And he was just kind of like, yeah,
Oh,
I'm
shoot, that is
dumb.
what I just said.
You're right.
Well, and that's where it ended for the week with them. So,
Mm-hmm.
all right, now which branch are we going down? Either Sidwell, Lucas, Sidwell calling Jordan, Lucas sleeping on the couch, or Turner and Molly.
I think Lucas, just because that was like quick and easy, but it was adorable.
But it led to
It did.
a good, yeah. No, I don't like that we're implying that Rick spent the night.
And he was crappy. I'm sorry, but you don't treat, especially, I don't know, do normal people not be on their best behavior in the beginning of relationships? I thought that's how it worked.
This is
Am
like
I
their
doing
fourth
it
time,
wrong?
though, so
It doesn't matter. It's still, okay, I can tell you. I
I've
could
never
call
been with
Ryan up
someone 4
here.
times. Oh, I was going to say, bring Ryan in. Let's see.
I was going to say, I could call Ryan up here right now, and he will tell you that I was still nicer in the beginning of this relationship at the fourth time than I am now, because it's still
It's your fourth time?
new. It depends on what you count, how you
Okay.
count. I think it would technically only be third time. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
I just thought it was like your second chance. Nope, it's a third chance. Okay. Hey, third time's a charm. That works. Okay.
sure. We've been complicated for a long time.
27 years.
Longer than that. That's 28. So 30 years.
Oh my gosh, he is 20. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Okay.
So
I
even
forgot
when
that
we
our kids are
dated,
old now.
yeah, even when we dated before we got pregnant with Matt, I was a total drama queen, like way worse back then as a teenager. So like he would breathe wrong and I would be like, that's it. We're breaking up because you didn't
Okay,
breathe
that
in a way
doesn't
that I
count.
liked.
That, I
So
mean, it
that
should,
would be back and forth.
but
it's like
I would
real
not count
stuff.
that. No.
Yeah. No, as real stuff. It's still kind of, I don't know, with real stuff. It's third or fourth time, but whatever.
Gotcha.
Bottom
Okay.
line is, doesn't matter if it's the second time, third time, 100th time. I personally am still nicer in the
I think if
beginning
you're at 100th
than I
time,
am.
there's a problem.
That would be if I was talking about my ex-husband, not my ex-boyfriend.
True. Okay.
But either way, I'm still nicer at the beginning of the relationship than moving forward. So Rick is at Elizabeth's house. We don't get to see this part because it happened the night before. We're all assuming. Rick's at Elizabeth's house. They think that they're going to have a nice romantic evening together. And for some reason, her best friend shows up drunk on her doorstep.
Who
and
does
needs
not do
to-
this?
Right?
That
And-
is a key thing. Like, if
Exactly.
you called me,
Right. This isn't every
there's a
Thursday
difference in,
night.
like,
Yeah.
exactly.
So there's obviously something going on with my friend that it would be like if I showed up drunk at your house. Like, there's
That's what I was
obviously
saying. I'm like,
something
you've
going
never
on.
done it before, so like, yeah,
Right. So your husband should be like, man, there must be something going on. If he was
Right.
crappy because it was a date night for you guys, then he's being a jerk. And especially whenever you're just starting out, Rick should be being extra nice to her.
Yeah, he should have been the one
And
to go pick
to
up. I was
Lucas.
just thinking, I'm like, JD would 100% go pick you up,
Right.
like, and bring you here.
Mhm.
You know, but no, Rick was not doing that.
No, he was like, can we wake him up now? And she was
Right.
like, I mean, he's going to be hungover. And he's like, yeah, he should get his hangover started now so he can get a move on. And then Rick had to be somewhere anyway because he
Right.
left to go meet with Portia and them. So
Yep.
why couldn't Lucas have just stayed asleep on the couch? What the heck?
But then Liz made him a really lovely little breakfast.
Yes, she did.
She's
She's
a good
she's
hostess.
very cute. She is. And so then they talked about everything with Marco and how he was feeling responsible because he sent Marco on this mission to get the meds because Britt was going to die and now Britt wasn't going to die. And so he just feels awful about all of this stuff. And then that gets them
He didn't tell her
talking.
that Joss was in the WSB, did he? Okay. So
Nope.
he didn't
Okay.
share that, like,
So,
that
so
part was also part of his heartbreak was his niece.
right, right. So
Okay.
now there's two people in the whole town
Mhm.
that don't know that Joss, Trina, and Liz. That's it, I feel like. But anyway, somehow they start talking. Oh, she's looking on her computer as she's talking to him and happens to see that one of the medical files has like pinged new information. And so she looks at it and it shows that Brennan is out of Turning Woods. And she's like, well, that's weird. The Turning Woods is linked to ours because he started out at GH and it shows that he left there. And then the notes say he like walked out of there. Normally, people who have strokes, especially strokes with locked in syndrome, aren't up walking out so quickly. And so she again says, maybe there's something going on at Willow's house, especially since Drew's being treated there and Brennan was treated somewhere else. We need to go talk to Willow and tell her she should have her house tested for some type of toxin or whatever before
Yeah.
anybody else gets sick. And I'm like, thank you, Liz, for being smarter than 90% of the people who aren't making any connection whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
And so then she does. They never really like wrapped up the conversation one way or the other as far as Lucas's stuff. It was just kind of like
It's
friend
it's going
venting.
to be opened. Yeah. I'm like, but it's also going to be open-ended. He feels guilty for Marco's death. You know, it was completely unnecessary. It didn't need to happen. I mean, it didn't need to happen even if all the things that Lucas thought were true were true.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I mean, he's struggling with it. It's, you know, it's like we talk about the same stuff every now and again.
Right.
You know, but I mean, he got super drunk, and I think
At
that
the
he got
brown
more,
dog.
and I think he got more drunk because of the Joss stuff, not
Yeah.
just because of the Brit stuff. But you know, and I think that that's messing with him too, is because I feel like he does now care for Brit, and he's probably thinking, how the heck is this going to impact her too? Yeah, I mean, I would
Mm-hmm.
imagine Lucas is probably thinking everything, you know,
Right.
and feeling everything, and so he got drunk. But yeah, then
He's
we saw Liz
adorable.
go to Willow's, and Nina and Willow were there. Willow's offering her condolences on the Cassius stuff, and you know, talked all about that. And then Brennan shows up without the evidence against Drew.
Yeah, because the black box is
Jokingly
missing.
says that, well, you guys could just help me kill him. And Willow's like, we aren't murderers. He's like, what?
Right. So what were you trying to do when you shot him 2 times in the back?
Yep. But then that's when Liz showed up and was shocked to see Brennan there. And she tells them all her theory and points out that there's 2 perfectly healthy men that got strokes here and had locked-in syndrome, and like something in the house has to be toxic. No one's even pointing out that neither Willow or Nina are at all sick.
Right.
And
Or the
people do
kids.
respond to but people do
Right.
respond to environmental things differently. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But Brennan spending an hour in the house causes him to have a stroke.
That's what didn't make sense.
Versus, and then Brennan says that he had been exposed to a substance through the WSB, and that's why he was sent to Turning Woods, and that's why they took over his care and like all that stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
he was just there to thank Nina because she had been there and she had kept checking in on him and all that stuff. And Liz was like, well, what was it? He's like, I can't tell you.
Yeah.
But then she asks
Classified.
Willow and Nina if the communication specialist has stopped by yet.
Mm-hmm. And they just can't get their schedules lined up. They're trying.
But then, all right, we have to jump back to, we'll jump back to Turner, we'll go to Sidwell, calling Jordan.
Okay.
He confronts her about doing stuff for him, and she's like, yeah, so I've been working undercover.
He knew that she had to be the one that told everyone about the house for Marco.
Yeah, and she's like, yeah, because I've been working undercover. Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we're just literally repeating the exact same storyline that we had with Ava.
Mm-hmm.
Because he offers to give her her face back if she just does this bad stuff for him. But she turns it down. And because that's
Yep.
what Valentin paid Ava to go get her face fixed. And he says that he will definitely be paying her back so that she will suffer as he has. And that every time she looks at her face, she'll remember that she could have been beautiful again. And she said that she can heal on her own, but that she would not have been able to look at herself again if she did one more thing to help him. So I was glad to see that. But then we see her leave the room and touch her face and look at her compact and like start crying.
Right. Why is Ava not asking Trina how Jordan's doing and then being like, oh yeah, I got burned really bad once. I went to
Oh,
this
yes.
clinic. Maybe she should look into that.
Probably because Ava is also who has guided Trina towards the boundaries. And so by doing that, that gets Trina more involved in the problems.
Maybe.
I'll use that as an
I
excuse. But no, you're right. Before that happened, she could have, at the beginning of all this, she could have offered to Trina, still have a connection there if you want me. Yeah, you're right.
Or why isn't someone recommending where Michael went?
That's the same place
Because
that Michael went.
was it the same place? Oh,
Mhm.
okay. Well, yeah, there you go. Same thing.
Right.
Though, like they have enough people in
I think Sidwell
common.
even mentioned that. I think he said like that's where Ava and I thought that
Did
someone
he
said
say
that that's where
Michael?
Mike.
Maybe. I
I
don't
thought
know.
he did.
I remember Carly saying Ava had gone somewhere good, so Brennan should be able to get Michael in somewhere good, but I wasn't sure if it was the same place or not.
Maybe I was just
Regardless,
assuming that. Okay, yeah.
there's enough close-knit people that someone should
Mhm.
have been like, hey, Jordan, why don't you ask Michael for the info on where he went?
Right.
I
Right.
don't understand. But
I don't
okay.
either.
You have to be a WSB agent to go there? Like a referral? It's a referral program.
Maybe
You
it's
can
a
only be
referral
referred
system.
by WSB agents.
Maybe
Okay.
Valentin has like a punch card, you know? This can be his third one for free, you know? So,
Maybe. Or bad guys, because Sidwell can get people there too. I don't
yeah,
understand.
maybe.
All right.
Yeah. But then Turner talks to Molly about prosecuting Sidwell, and she says that she cannot prosecute Sidwell because he threatened to kill her, so there's like a conflict of interest there, and that Molly is the most likely to get the conviction, but she knows that it goes against her book promotion tour, but it could also be prosecuting the biggest case of her career, and she gives Molly 24 hours to make a decision. But then she also mentions that, you know, doing this is going to put like kind of like a mark on your back because Sidwell's going to not like you because of this. And
Mm-hmm.
then Molly points out that not only can she not prosecute Sidwell, but she cannot prosecute Sunny because Sunny saved her life.
Yep. That was beautiful. I really don't think that Sunny even thought of that, but that was perfect.
I don't either. But then Turner goes to see Sunny, and Sunny's like flirting with her, saying it was so risky for you to kiss with all those cops around.
Thank you.
And yeah, apparently he has like a huge Stein collection. Did you see that? Like on his shelves in the background, he has like a ton of beer Steins. But
Isn't that back room in the back of Charlie's?
is it? Or is that
I
like the
think it
apartment
is.
above Charlie's or something? But still,
But it's
he has a lot
something
of.
with Charlie,
Yeah,
so I would
but that's
assume, I don't know,
still.
maybe if you buy so
I mean,
much
that's not
beer from
something.
somebody, you get a free Stein.
I don't know.
Never run a bar before.
My
I don't know.
pap had a lot of Steins, and I don't really notice like a lot of people collecting Steins. I mean, I know that I catch things in the background all the time, but like that
You
just really
do.
stood out to me. But she asks if he's considered the fact that anyone knows about them, and he says that he thinks that Sidwell might try to get to him through
Absolutely.
Molly and Rick. And then she says that she can't see him again. When they're talking about like not seeing each other again and I can't lose you, like he said that when Sidwell had the gun on him and he couldn't lose her, they're in a relationship.
Right? I mean, that's what they discussed. They were like, this was supposed to just be a fling and it wasn't going to mean anything.
That's all that it's
but
been.
now I can't lose you. But
When?
even the whole conversation was contradictory because it was, I can't lose you. And then it was, well, I can't not see you. And then it was,
Well,
this
but it's I
wasn't
can't
supposed to be
lose
a
you, so we have to
relationship.
stop seeing each other because I can't lose you.
Yeah, but then they're ripping each other's clothes off. So
One last.
it's not going to be the last time. Give me a break.
But this isn't Carly or Brenda.
Mm-mm.
And that's the kind of lines that they were having him say to her. And I'm like,
Yeah.
No.
Right. He like teared up. He like cried. Yeah. And I was like,
no. Mm-mm.
I thought
I'm
it
not
was fun
buying
because
that they had. Right.
Yeah.
the danger, much like when Valentin went to Carly's. We can actually go there now, I think. And he walked in the kitchen and was like, is this still sexy if I'm not an international fugitive? And Carly's like, we'll make it work, And he mentions that it's great now that she and Joss can be honest with each other. And then Sonny walks in on them. And this was before he saw Turner, but still. Sonny walks in on them and says that this is the absolute worst mistake that she has ever made. And then they yell at him for just walking in. He's like, I knocked, but you were obviously way too busy. But he's like, do you want a new fugitive in your daughter's life, in their daughter's life? He has a ton of them. Like, no, you don't know. And then Sonny tells her that Valentin is who helped Ava with his medication, which I kind of forgot about.
Yeah.
And Valentin, again, being the adult, says, yep, I did do that. I am very sorry. And she goes, I wasn't with you then. Carly's being an adult with Valentin.
She is. She's doing a good job. She's doing a very good job.
And then they discuss, but she did say, she's like, however, we are going to talk about that one. Because yeah,
please
you can't
don't
be
kill
doing
my other baby daddy.
Yeah. And then Valentin brought up their their mutual ex-wife, Nina. And Sonny is like, I don't care who you are. I still see you as a Cassadine. He's like, didn't you sleep with Alexis?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then Sonny asked why Carly would get involved with a man like him. And Valentin goes, because I make good cocoa bun. I just love it. And then Sonny's like, so Donna was here the whole time that you guys were messing around? And Carly's like, no. And and Valentin goes, yeah, so your apartment was firebombed. Where are we going with all this? Everything you say, I have something to come right back at you. And then Carly tells him basically the same thing that she told Lulu, that. And so this conversation actually happened before Lulu came over. That's why I was like, oh, wait a second, but this doesn't really matter whenever it comes to Lulu. But she tells Sonny the same thing. He was the only one that she knew in the WSB that she could go talk to. And Sonny's like, oh, so does Joss know about this? And is she okay with it? And Valentin's like, I think I'm growing on her. I don't know. But Sonny said, don't count on that lasting.
Mm-hmm.
And then Valentin pronounced Jen's name correctly. He called him Jens because my maiden name was changed because it starts with a Y here, but it's a J in Germany. And
okay.
it was changed because of the phonetics. So, but he said that Sonny is who, they talk about the fact that Sonny's who got Sidwell arrested. Sonny says that Cullum is actually the one who firebombed his apartment. And for a second, it looked like Valentin might have known that. I couldn't decide.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that look was like, no, wait, I had a part in that, or
I don't
if
think
it
he had
was,
a
no,
part
I
in it,
didn't
or if
know
he
that.
knew it. Or I think it might have been or is it more of a, oh, wow, this goes back that far with Cullum.
Right.
Oh my God.
I couldn't read it.
I mean, I think he knew Sidwell, but I don't think that he might not have known that Cullum that goes that far back. But then, after Sonny leaves, Valentin's like, yeah, so he just brought up a lot of my past. Are you okay with that? And she says it again. That's not the man that I'm involved with.
Right.
And then he left and went and brought Joss flowers and talks about how Z came to visit, or he went to visit Z, and that he read the statement that Cullum died a hero.
Right.
Thanks her for giving him his life back, but is like, and why'd you do that? And she said to keep Carly safe, which makes sense. Because if he's not a fugitive and he doesn't have any pending charges, then Carly cannot be charged as an accomplice. But then he says that he owes her, and she said that she'll keep it in mind. And he's like, I thought you were seriously just going to cash that in real quick and say to stay away from Carly. And she's like, no, I'm not going to do that. But then he thanked her for the opportunity to keep Charlotte safe, and that he's definitely going to take care of her. And as he's on his way out the door, she's like, oh, can you do me a favor, though? And I don't think this is her cashing it in. But she's like, can you get a message to Anna Devane? And then Brennan comes and visits and finds out the Valentin's free. And he's like, wait, how did that one happen now? Joss tells him everything and tells him that Carly and Valentin will be over because she just sent him straight to Anna.
Yeah. That was good. That was good manipulation there that I hadn't thought of in the moment.
I hadn't either, but then we saw at the very, very end, and it's how the week ended, and we still have other stuff to talk about, but Valentin knocked on the door, or and and this is where Anna was on the phone with Emma, or she was leaving Emma a voicemail message asking her to
About what
bring
to
her
pick
like
up
a
at the
salad.
store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a knock. She opens the door. Valentin's smiling at her. She smiled at him. But I don't I don't feel like it was a romantic
No.
smile. It what I
No.
If they somehow start kissing after that,
Yeah.
totally played
Mm-mm.
wrong, because I don't feel like it was that kind of a
I mean,
smile.
Anna's not in that headspace to begin with. Like, she shouldn't be looking for a romantic
No.
interest, period. But on
No.
top of that, no, I feel like they ran their course and they're done. They'll always have feelings, whatever, but it's done.
Yeah. Like she seemed very happy to see him and comforted to see him,
Right,
but
right.
not excited to see him.
Yep. It was old friend excited, not old lover or hopefully new lover excited.
Right. Right. So I think they're done. I
I
think
do too.
I do. I do.
Which is okay because I
I
do like
like
him with
him.
Carly. I'm
Yeah. Like
excited to see where this is going.
I really just hope that they don't. I think that Anna's going to be shocked
Right.
when she finds out, but I think that Valentin is probably going to tell her, and
Yeah.
it's just going to be it, you know? I mean, he's always going to be there, and yeah, he's always going to love her, but not
Right.
always as a lover. And then I think we only had a couple other little things with Ava and Ethan. They are
Mhm.
I am so right on this one. Come
I
on.
know you're right, but I don't like it. I don't like it.
But it's cute flirting. He's like, oh, come on. You have to admit that the best thing about me getting shot and being stuck in the back is because you got like a great look at my butt.
Hey, with the flirting and cuteness. I just don't want them to actually hook up.
I don't want them to hook up unless it's going to be something.
Yeah, I just not interested in that. But yeah, earlier whenever he was still at the hospital and Sunny had said the whole thing about this was hazard pay or whatever, she
Yes.
offered to give him 50,000. He said, "What's your life worth?" And she was like, "Yeah, I'm not paying you that much, but I'll give you 50,000." And he said, "No, we'll call it even because you're going to keep my secret about Phoebe." And then later at the pool, whenever he was teasing her about staring at his butt, she was like, "Do you remember what you said to me?" And he was like, "Nope, I don't know what you're talking about," like totally playing it off. And she was like, "No, you thought that you were going to die. And I said you had to live for Phoebe. And you said that you weren't her dad." And he was like, I don't understand why she needs to keep harping on it. Like, I don't even get why that's such a thing for her.
I feel
She's,
like after this conversation, I feel like she's going to be done.
I hope so, because if I tell you a super big secret and I stress to you it's a super big secret for a reason, if it's not directly affecting you and you can see that there's a good consequence coming from it, like she knows Brooklyn, she knows the Quartermain family,
Mm-hmm.
that little girl is going to be loved to death. Why do you need to know who the father is? Why does it matter?
Right. Yeah.
He obviously is trying to keep a promise he made to her mother. Let her be safe in the Quartermain house. And it's
Yeah.
not about money, or else he would have taken your 50,000.
Right. Well, he didn't know that she knew.
But I mean,
He didn't
no,
remember
either.
that he had said that to her, but he thought
No,
that it
he
was the
didn't
original
remember.
secret, right? But regardless, the secret's around Phoebe, so he was
Right.
not
No,
taking the money. Yeah.
her saying you're doing this so that you can come back to the Quartermains later to get money
Right.
doesn't make sense. He obviously doesn't need money or he would have taken your 50,000. So
Right.
it's honestly about Phoebe. Just leave her alone.
I do. I feel like it's going to take a turn that because there was a look on her face too when he was like, seriously, drop it, and left. Because I feel like she's just been teasing him to this point, but I
Yeah.
think that she really picked up on, oh crap, like I think she was still egging him on because she knew that he did not remember telling her that.
Right.
And so when he told her that,
Was Joe around whenever all the Phoebe stuff had happened? Or all the Delilah stuff had happened?
he's not Phoebe's dad.
I don't know. The fact that he was questioning Britt on stuff that didn't need to be questioned made me wonder if he's involved somewhere that he shouldn't be.
What was he
And if
asking her
that
that?
makes him Because she thought Britt was at the,
Yeah. That's
still
actually
at the
the
police
last thing we
station.
have. Yeah.
Yeah. Britt was still at the police station. She was telling everyone that she was going to be shipped to God knows where because the WSB was going to hold her for all these crimes. And she didn't know what was going to happen and whatever. Then they call her up to the interrogation room and he is like, so can you explain to me what kind of injections you were taking, why you were taking them? And she's like, it doesn't even matter now. And at first she's not going to tell him. And then she does tell him about how she was manipulated, the Huntingtons, blah, blah, blah. It ends up being this saline instead. She was stupid, whatever. And he's like, oh, okay, because we looked at one of the needles and yeah, it just had saline. I was confused. And she was like, yeah, that was the story, whatever. And then he hands her paperwork and is like, all right, just give this to the desk sergeant on the way out. And she's like, what are you talking about? And
Yeah.
he says, oh, well, you're free to go. So she was already free to go before she answered the questions that had anything to do with the syringe. He was just asking those out of curiosity, which makes
Yeah.
me wonder if he's working for somebody else. He's not just
See,
piecing
I
people.
don't. I seriously think that the syringe was just bothering him
Oh,
and he
okay.
had to get the answer. Because she even said, she's like, why'd I answer all those questions? He's like, because I just needed to know about the syringe. Because he told her about it and was like, why were you injecting yourself with saline? She's like, because I'm an idiot. And then
Right.
explained Cullum convincing her. And he ended it with, like, I am so sorry that happened to you. And he looked legit like, wow, that's not what I was expecting. I think he was expecting I don't know I don't think he knew what he was expecting, but I really don't think that he thought that's what it was going to be. You
I
know?
don't think that's what he thought it was going to be, but I'm wondering if he's gathering information for someone else somewhere else. So it just made me wonder if he's going to end up being a bad guy eventually, and that's going to be the bad guy that we're keeping Phoebe from. But I wasn't sure how that would work if anyone showed
I
him a
don't
picture
know.
of Delilah.
I feel like he is so insanely by the book.
Yeah, but that
Because
makes
he's
me
been like,
wonder if that makes him bad. Sometimes being too good means you're bad. I don't know.
can't
We'll
we
see.
just have someone be good?
I mean, no. It's a soap, no. That doesn't happen. What are you
But then
talking
she's
about?
like, so what am I supposed to do? She's like, I don't have a phone. I have nowhere to go. I got rid of all my credit cards, like everything. And he gave her $5.
Yeah, he was
And
like, you pay me back later.
yeah. So this is where we need Jason to come back because she does need somewhere to go. However, I do wonder if, even though I feel like Carly might help her now.
I feel like anybody could help her. She could go to Liesel and
Liesel.
get help. She could go to Dante and get help. I mean, it's not that difficult
He'd
to
have to
go
pay
get.
for it with Lulu.
He needs to stand
Yeah.
up to Lulu eventually. Like, sorry,
Yeah.
we're not together and this girl needs help because and even Lulu, when she hears the story about the Huntingtons, has to take a step back. She won't, but she should take a step back and be like, man, that was messed up. I feel bad for you. You've gone through some stuff. So here, let me
Yeah.
make your life a little easier by not being such a jerk.
Yeah.
She won't, but she should, which means that she should understand why Dante would be like that.
I thought Joe was just curious. I
Maybe.
really hope it doesn't have anything to do with anything. Maybe it just has to do with, maybe he doesn't know that Lucas knows. And so he's going to tell Lucas.
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe he thinks that he's helping Lucas.
I don't know who else is bad enough that Phoebe's parents would want, or Phoebe's mom would want to keep her away.
Sidwell.
But I still don't like that timing.
He's been in and out, you know?
He has, and he definitely had an interest in art, which would make sense.
And he's
But
loaded.
I
And he's
don't
the
want it to
target.
be
He's the
him.
target demographic.
I don't want it to be him.
Sorry.
I don't like that.
I think it'd be really interesting. I don't know. I mean, we're going to find out at some point.
Yes, and he would go psycho over that baby now that Marco's gone.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. No, I don't want it. I don't want it.
But exactly.
I know, but I
Like,
don't like it. Fine, whatever.
because it's not like, and here's the thing, if it was Cassius, I feel like they should have been having him and Sidwell maybe discussing some of the artwork in his, like at Windermere.
Right,
Being
like he had more knowledge.
like,
Yep.
oh, I noticed that you just bought the latest blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah,
nice piece or something like that,
I
you know?
agree.
At least to, like, lay those little breadcrumbs that, oh, yeah, Delilah would have been targeting you.
Mhm. I just don't want it to be Sidwell. I get all the reasons that it could be, should be, will probably be, but I don't want it to be.
I'll accept it.
All right. Is
I
there
could be
anything
wrong.
else? I feel
I
like
don't
there's
think so.
so much.
I feel like there was way more than I thought that there was going to be for us to talk about, but I also was
Yeah.
not prepared to have a comic strip written for me. That was seriously
You
awesome.
guys, I appreciate the distraction, but it throws her all off. Come on.
Reality check.
All right. So, how was your week?
My week was crappy, so I apologize for the many times I've yawned through this recording. I'm just exhausted. So I start a new job the end of this month. I'm trying to get my whole life in order before that happens because I want to make sure I can't call off on whatever because of training and everything. So I want to make sure Madeline's set, my mom is set, and life is just like as perfect as it can be. And every time I think I'm
Let me know when you
accomplishing
achieve that,
something,
okay?
right. Every time I think I'm
Everybody
achieving
is sitting there
one
like, Amanda,
thing,
come on.
I'm trying at least to get some stuff
Not
together.
just you, just like in general. Like,
Yes.
yeah.
But every time that I think, it's like 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, I feel like. So my mom had multiple doctor appointments this week that I was like, we're going to get all these answers. She's having memory issues. I don't know if it's dementia, Alzheimer's, something completely different, but I want to figure it all out. And so I had all these appointments scheduled and we're going to get stuff figured out. And then at the very first appointment, they're like, yep, all of her stuff is off. Her blood pressure is too low. Her blood is too thin because she's on blood thinner. She's had issues with blood clots her whole life. And so that just like threw the whole week off. She's now in the hospital and spent hours the other day in the ER with her before they finally admitted her and whatever. And then on top of that, I thought we were going to get better because I said to you yesterday, I just need the rest of today to like be grumpy and mad and exhausted.
Yeah.
And then we'll record tomorrow. And then last night, Madeline ended up coming home from a friend's house early because she is sick. So it's just been, lose. And this week I scheduled other appointments for the following week. So I'm hoping this isn't a trend that every week I'm just going to be
Right.
mad and angry that all these doctor appointments find more issues that then I have to deal with because number one, I don't want anything else to be wrong with anyone. And number two, the goal is to be done by the 27th. My whole life perfect by the 27th. Come on. So
Yeah.
someone's going to send in a pipeline and be like, Amanda, here's the key to getting everything right by the 27th. And I'm going to be so appreciative. I'm waiting for it, guys.
Well, I will read that. I'm like, let me know when you get I will get that. Yes. So thank you in ahead of time. Yeah.
Someone is going to do it. And
it's crazy how that happens though. Like yeah.
So yeah, that was my week. Not good stuff. And just, I'm so tired and just like, it's not even just physical. It's everything. I need a break. So, but we'll see.
I know we joke about trying to get locked away sometimes. And sometimes there are days where it would be so much nicer than others.
Right. Yeah. My mom was complaining about being in the hospital. And I'm like, it kind of sounds like a nice vacation. Someone will cook and clean. And I just lay here and I'm like, watch TV. Come on. You'll be fine.
Right.
So I could watch GH in real time. Like, oh my gosh, it'd be amazing. But no, knock on wood. That does not happen. Stressful week. So how about you?
My daughter had a doctor's appointment that we had to go to that hopefully nothing's wrong.
See, also stressful.
Yeah. Yeah. She had to wear a heart monitor for 3 days and she's not in pain, but we're just,
preventative.
Had a PCP checkup last week and need to look into something. So yay. However, I had my 100th closing too.
Yay!
That was just my client. So I did not count the other half of when I was on a team. Mm-hmm. And even though I attended those closings and worked those deals, I did not count them. So
yeah,
my own generated business 100th closing.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
That was fun. And it was a repeat client. It was a client that they had just gone under contract like either the day before or the day of. So when COVID happened, we were given, if your offer was accepted this day, anything after, even if it was accepted after, they had to stop processing it. Wow. They were only allowed to be processing that day or before. They were like literally either that day or the day before. So while we're in lockdown, not able to do anything, they're still in process. And then their closing, I think, was scheduled like the week after everything reopened for us. So it was just really, it was funny doing this sale because they're like, we didn't do this last time. We didn't. I was like, no. I'm like,
Right.
no, you did not have a normal house buying experience, period. And they were just moving to Pittsburgh. So that was the craziest part. Like, they weren't just relocating from here. They were relocating. I had helped them find a rental in the fall, and then they were buying. So yeah, it was fun, but it was also just so nice to like have, I've worked with other clients repeatedly a couple times.
Right.
But it was just kind of fun that was the one that we had a completely insane, because of a global pandemic reason. And that
Right.
then they were my 100th. So, and then my daughter had her first full week of working with the public. And so that went well. She's doing
Good.
really, really well. Found out that her job coach is moving back to California, and
Oh
but
no.
she's being replaced with someone that we know and like. So it's
Oh, good.
okay. But
Okay.
also her new job is just so prepared to work with her. So
That's awesome.
yeah, she's really, really in a good place. But yeah, I was trying really hard when I was talking to her to not cry. But like she's mentioned before, like she's from California, like things were so different. And I was like, you miss the sun? She's like, yeah, she was not expecting like how the winter went. So, but I mean, she's wonderful. So, happy for her, sad for us, but she can, so she should.
Right.
You don't have to stay here, so don't.
Yeah.
And you don't want to. So
Right.
but then my daughter had, ever since that independent living program, she's been meeting with a peer for like weekly coaching with a peer. And she has it on Friday afternoons. And we use it's called Finch. It's an app. It's like a self-care app. And she and I have been using it for a little over a year. And I have a bunch of others. So if you guys are on Finch, you can send in your codes and I'll add you as a friend. But it's really fun because it's a little, they call them burbs, but they're birds. And I honestly put like so much of my daily tasks, and it's really nice because like I have on there, just simply taking a shower, brushing your teeth, making your bed, like little stuff like that. I don't add my entire to-do list on there because that would just be bonkers. But I add like enough, like, and I make sure that I have little things like take 3 deep breaths, read for 30 minutes, all that stuff. And so they started doing these monthly challenges maybe 2 or 3 months ago. And this month's is Fun in the Sun. And one of them was have an unplanned adventure. And so
Nice.
she asked after her peer coaching, she's like, can our unplanned adventure be the aviary? She loves the aviary.
She does.
And so if you guys don't know, Pittsburgh is actually the national aviary for the country. So that's pretty cool. And then we went to lunch, and it was actually just, not actually, but it was a nice, mostly unplanned adventure day. So that was
Good.
And it was nice that it got to work because there's so many times where, and I love, 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 love my job. There are just a lot of times where it's, yes, we can do that as long as, and
Right. Stuff comes up.
no as long as popped up. So that was really,
Mhm.
really nice. So, yep. Join us on Thursday though, as we talk about Valentin part 2. Oh, hold it. There was something that I wanted to correct from, shoot, I forget what it was. It must not have been that important because I also didn't write it down.
You'll think
But
of it. We'll bring it
I
up
will
next
say
time.
that this upcoming week, somehow we got out of order on things, which is difficult to do sometimes because, as things branch off and everything, I'm going to do my best I can to piece it all back together correctly. But if things come out of order, that's why.
It'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
They'll get the gist. So yeah, have a good week.
And we'll meet you at the pier.
Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's show, we invite you to go to peer54podcast.com to subscribe on your favorite platform. Don't forget to leave us a review.
And you can also follow us on many social media channels. Just search for Peer54 Podcast. Also, we are not perfect, so if there is something that we missed or messed up, just let us know by emailing us at peer54podcast@gmail.com.